Today we are making a Chicago-style hot dog, a Coney Island dog, and a Sonoran dog, all vegan of course, and this was my first time trying all of these and they all blew me away. So let's get going with the Chicago dog. And because of the already vegan toppings, this dog has been dragged through the garden, as they say. And besides pickled spears and tomatoes, we also got these sport peppers, this neon green relish, and some celery salt. At first, I thought the relish was going to be dill, but it was actually super sweet. So if you can't find it, just use some sweet relish. I was also able to find the sport peppers at my local Italian market, but you should be able to get them online if not local. And celery salt is widely available as far as I know. And now the buns are traditionally covered in poppy seeds, and the closest thing I could find was this Everything Deli Roll, which turned out to be too big, so I'm just going to use a plain old hot dog bun. And for the dogs themselves, I'm using the Field Roast Stadium dogs. If you want to see me taste test a bunch of dogs, I got a video for that, link in description. And a lot of you told me that I need to try the dogs boiled, which along with being steamed, seems to be how they do them in Chicago. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm also going to attempt to steam the buns like so. And to be honest, I think I prefer to steam them by wrapping them in a damp paper towel and then microwaving for about 20 seconds. This was the most efficient way I found, so I highly recommend that. So let's get our steamed bun and our dog. We're going to add some tomato, some yellow mustard, our nuclear relish, diced onion, a dill pickle spear, a couple of those sport peppers, and last but not least, some celery salt. And there we go. That's our fully loaded Chicago dog. And let's give it a taste test. And I gotta say, this thing was just amazing. All the flavors just play off of each other perfectly. The dill pickle and the sweet relish especially so. And the crunch of that onion, the zippy mustard, and kick of spice from the peppers. It almost overshadows the hot dog, but it's also there and rounds everything out with some beefiness. Though to be honest, I think I prefer these dogs grilled. Maybe it's just the brand, but they are much better with some char on them. But Chicago friends, let me know how I did. I was tempted to troll you by putting ketchup on this thing, but I also didn't want to end up like Jimmy Hoffa. All right, now let's do the Coney Island dog, which I learned actually hails from Michigan and not New York. This is probably the best chili dog I've ever had, vegan or not, and I've had a lot. And to make the chili, I'll be using a recipe loosely based off the one by Chef John, but we'll be making it vegan since I am the Steamboat Willie of my Coney Island chili. Okay, I'll stop doing that. So we're gonna get 1.5 pounds of plant-based meat. I'm using, sorry, that was a really awful Chef John impersonation. Anyways, I'm using Impossible meat. Beyond would work as well. And in his recipe, he doesn't brown the meat, but I'm gonna go rogue and brown mine. But we just wanna crumble and mash it up as fine as we can. And then next we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of diced onion, stir that around, and then let's add 1 teaspoon of celery salt, 2 tablespoons of chili powder or more to taste. This is what I'm using here. And then we're going to do 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of cayenne, a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1 tablespoon of vegan Worcestershire sauce, about 3 cloves of minced garlic. Stir that around and then add in a 1/3 cup of ketchup. I know most recipes call for water, but I figure why not add some beer for some more flavor, but that's totally optional. So I'm going to do 1 cup of beer, stir that around, and then add in a cup of water. And we're going to use that to deglaze and get the fond off the bottom of the pan, which is something Chef John usually loves to do, but not in this recipe, oddly enough. Maybe it's just the traditional way not to do it. But we're going to bring that up to a simmer. We're going to taste for seasoning. I added some black pepper and salt. I gave it another taste, and it was good, but it was just lacking a certain oomph. So I realized I wasn't following vegan law, so I added in 1.5 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, aka Nooch, as well as a tablespoon of yellow mustard. Gave that a taste, and that was the magic ingredient as per usual. It just took it from good to great just like that, and obviously add more liquid if you want it to be runnier or reduce it down if you want it to be thicker. The choice is yours. So now all we got to do is grill up some dogs over medium heat. We're going to steam some buns as we do, and then let's put this dog together. We'll go ahead and ladle on some of that chili. We're going to do our best to get it reasonably sloppy, and then we'll add some diced onion and a swizzle of yellow mustard. And my friends, this is such a simple dog with minimal ingredients, but dare I say it's bursting with just as much flavor as the Chicago dog. And don't skip the onions or mustard either. Those are key in my book. And this will leave you with some leftover chili, so you can totally make some more dogs or chili burgers, chili fries, whatever your chili loving heart desires. All right, last but not least is the Sonoran dog, which originally hails from Hermosillo, the capital of Sonora in Mexico, but it is super popular in Arizona. And this is a bacon-wrapped hot dog served on a bolillo instead of a hot dog bun, and it has pinto beans on it. And there's a few variations, but the one I made was pretty simple and just super dang good, so let's get into it. To make the beans, I'm going to get a pan over medium heat, add a little bit of oil, and then we're going to toss in 1 diced jalapeno with the seeds or without them if you don't want it spicy, and then about a half cup of diced onion as well. We're going to stir those around, cook them for a minute or so, and then we're going to start throwing in some ground cumin, and I'm just kind of eyeballing the spices here, so let your spicy heart be your guide. And then we're going to go in with some chipotle powder, some smoked paprika, and as always, some nooch. We're going to stir those around and toast for a minute or so, and then we're going to throw in about 3 cloves of minced garlic, stir and cook that for another minute. And then we're going to add in 2 cans of pinto beans that I've drained but not rinsed. I like to have a bit of that good old bean juice in my beans. And stir those around, taste and adjust for seasoning. I threw in some salt, and yeah, that's basically it. Now you have some delicious pinto beans, and like the chili, you'll have leftovers, which now that I'm writing the script, I'm going to go ahead and eat some real quick. All right, I'm back, and now for the bacon, we'll be making the rice paper bacon I made a while back. I'll leave a recipe link in the description, but essentially what we're gonna do is just make a marinade with some oil, soy sauce, liquid smoke, smoked paprika, nooch, of course, you know, the stuff that will make it taste like bacon. And then what we're going to do is soak 2 pieces of rice paper in some water for about 15 seconds. And one thing to note is to get the bacon to crisp up, you want to make sure you don't over soak the rice paper, but you need to soak it long enough so it's pliable. It's a delicate balance, literally. But even if it doesn't get super crispy, it'll still be really good, so don't stress too much. After that, we'll dunk it in that marinade like so, and then we just need to get it on a cutting board and slice it into bacon slices. And that's really all there is to it. And then what we need to do is just wrap our dogs in them like so. I kind of just drape them and let gravity do its thing and spin the dog around. And you'll probably need about 2 paces of bacon to cover that dog. And once you got it rolled, get a pan up to medium-high heat, and if I could turn back time, I'd find a way to add more oil to the pan. The more oil you got, the better and faster the bacon will crisp up, but you can also just cook it for longer like I did here. And once your dogs are looking good, let's get our bolillo, which I'm gonna steam just like I did the hot dog buns, and we're gonna slice down the top like so, top it with our beans, and now usually this is served with some kind of jalapeno salsa, but I was feeling lazy and hungry, so I just bought some from the market down the street. So we'll give it a bit of that, some diced onion and diced tomato, a healthy squirt of some vegan mayo, as well as some mustard, and then a little cilantro for a green thing, and now that is your Sonoran dog. And at first it seemed like maybe too much bread, but it was actually perfect in my book. And that first bite really did blow me away, and the more that I got into it, the more I realized it was a harmonious blend of like a hot dog and a torta. Just an amazing thing, and I can see why so many folks rank this as one of the best hot dogs out there. And I really did love making and eating all of these, so to all the people who recommended them, thank ya. And let me know in the comments what other hot dogs you'd like to see me make, and here's another video for some bacon-wrapped hot dogs as well, so check that out. And in the meantime, I hope you all give one or all of these a try, and until then, I'll see you all next time.